Hey everyone, Mr. Sujano here, your source for gaming, tech, emulation, and open source news. Let's get started. Alright, to kick things off, yes, I'm camping again. Yes, it's another gorgeous day outside. It's a little bit chilly, but that's okay. And yes, I've got a ton of great news for you. So first up, we're talking about Nintendo Switch emulation on Android with Strato. And at the time of filming, Strato has not released just yet, but I'm under the impression that it's going to be releasing soon. Now with Strato, we all know the joke is it's going to be releasing tomorrow, and it's been that way for a very long time. But it does appear the release of this is imminent. We're going to have to be patient here. It's not going to be perfect, but at the same time, it's still Switch emulation on Android. It's still a continuation of Skyline, and I'm still excited for it. Next up, we're talking about Star Wars Bounty Hunter, and this is the PlayStation 2 and GameCube game that Aspyr has announced they're bringing to Steam. Now, hopefully they do a good job of this, but it's releasing at the beginning of August, and it does look kind of good. Honestly, as much as I want to say I have high hopes for this one, I am tempering my expectations. But if you're excited about this one, let me know in the comments below, and I'll drop a link to it in the description below. Next up, we're talking about Nintendo 64 emulation with Project64. Now, we've talked about Project64 Legacy in previous videos. There are still a lot of people who like the original 1.6 version of Project64. What a lot of people don't know is that there's a pretty big security vulnerability in this version of Project64. Now, interestingly here, even though Project64 Legacy is available and does not have that security vulnerability, a lot of people still prefer using the original version 1.6 of Project64. Well, the Project64 Legacy team have fixed that security vulnerability. If you are curious about this one, I'll drop a link to it in the description below, and I do recommend checking it out if you are using Project64 version 1.6. Next up, we're talking about Nintendo DS emulation on PC with Melon DS. Now, if you're a fan of Metroid Prime Hunters and you wanted to play it with mouse and keyboard, there's a brand new fork of Melon DS that allows you to do so. Fittingly, it's called Melon Prime DS. It's 100% free, it's open source, and if you are curious about it, it's up on GitHub. I'll drop a link to it in the description below. Next up, this one is crazy. If you're a fan of the Arju Boy, you're probably going to be a fan of this one. There's apparently a 60 frames per second multiplayer game. It's a laser tag game, and it's available. It's open source, and it actually works. From my understanding on this one, the developer plans to add more maps of capture the flag mode and even more. If you're curious about this project, I'll drop a link to it in the description below, and I do recommend checking it out. Next up, if you're a fan of cloud gaming, if you're a fan of Xbox Game Pass, and if you've got a Fire Stick, well, this next piece of news may be exactly for you. So it was recently announced that Xbox Cloud Gaming is headed to Amazon Fire TV. I honestly found this announcement a little bit surprising because Amazon already has a cloud gaming platform, Luna. Now, you will need a controller to pair to this thing, and no, the new Call of Duty is not cloud gaming compatible, not at least yet. Now, whether or not you're a fan of cloud gaming is an entirely different question, and I would argue that I'd rather have more options than fewer, even if they're options I don't plan on using. If you plan on using this one, let me know your thoughts about it in the comments below. Next up, we're quickly talking about a brand new ransomware attack on the FromSoftware owners. Now, apparently 1.5 terabytes of data has been hacked and will be released on July 1st if they don't pay up. The group behind the attack is called Black Suit, and some people have been asking, will this result in an unofficial Bloodborne port to PC? And I would argue maybe not. We'll have to wait and see if this data is actually released. But it appears it's a whole lot of personal data as opposed to game data. Next up, this one is wild. Apparently a 27-year-old man admitted to sending death threats to Nintendo to have Nintendo Japan events canceled, all because they weren't very good at Splatoon 3. This person reportedly made a total of 39 threats between August and November of last year. If you are curious about this one, I'll drop a link to the article in the description below, and feel free to check it out. I can't believe someone would actually do that because they were losing at a video game. But again, at the same time here, after playing online games for many years, yes, I can see something like this happening. Let me know your thoughts about this stuff in the comments below. But anyways, that is all I've got for you in this one. Straight to the point, all stuff and no fluff. The bacon is almost finished, the eggs have to go on, and I've got to cook and eat my breakfast. So I'll end this one here. We talked about a bunch today. Let me know your thoughts about absolutely any of it in the comments below. If you like this video, leave a like. If you didn't like this video, leave a like. Hit that subscribe button, check out my other videos. Don't tempt fate, save your state.